So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have liftoff. We now have just about max power on our Votol. As you can see, it's in third gear. Now this is still in kilometers per hour. I gotta change that in the software. Before, with no load on it, we were only getting up to about 100 kilometers per hour. So obviously no load on it. It's not going to go this fast when we put a load on it, but it's definitely doing a whole lot better. As you can see, we're getting up to about 157 kilometers per hour. That little motor is screaming, no question. But all right, eWorld, so we are back with some new information. Now, if you were to just look at this controller like I did, you would assume that this was a Votol. And I have problems saying that, so I know it sounds funny when I say it. Votol, Votol, whatever the hell it is. Okay. Now, after doing a little research on these, there's a whole bunch of controllers that look like this. But no, they're not all Votols. Now, after looking at the little tiny words on this thing, which I had to actually get my phone to zoom down on the words, I could actually see that this says Lingbo, not Votol. So Lingbo is another Chinese controller. Man, they got so many different manufacturers over there, all using pretty much the same variations of the same controllers, branding it with their own brands. They all kind of similar. Maybe some of them have little minor differences, whatever. But it's too many of them to keep track of. And usually why I don't like using the Chinese controllers, but this is a Chinese bite. Hopefully in the future when we use our vest, that will be American made or Canadian made controller. Whatever the case, just a little better quality and better components. But anyway, back to this. So yes, this is a Lingbo. Now, the easiest way to determine what's what when you're trying to swap out controllers, now there's a hard way and then there's, you know, an easy way. The harder way would be, and it's not hard if you know what you're doing, but the harder way would be to power up the bike and go through with a multimeter and probe all the wires and figure out what they're doing. You would have to turn switches on and off, you know, go through everything, and you can determine what all of those wires are. Now, earlier I was talking about I didn't want to hardwire this controller because looking at this plug and assuming that a lot of that was being used, I didn't want to cut all these wires and you know, splice and butt connect a whole bunch of wires together and make a messy, ashy, trashy looking mess. You know, somebody even suggested pulling the pins out, but obviously they don't know that they got these plugs are full of glue, hot glue, silicone, whatever the case. Same thing for those. I'm sure they're gonna say you can get that out. Man, I'm not doing all that. You know, digging out that glue, silicone, whatever it is, you're gonna bend up the pins and then you gotta put new pins on there, and it just makes a more of a job. I got plenty of those connectors. You know, I got new, I'm talking about these. I got all these connectors I got the little pins down in there. You got to solder and crimp them on. Like I said, at this point in time, I don't work hard. I work smart. So once upon a time, I used to, you know, go by that by any means necessary mentality. And you know, when you're eager and pressed to do things, you do whatever you got to do. But at this stage of the game, you know, I'm more laid back, and I take time out to get the proper and necessary stuff to not rework myself over and over again. Now, the reason why I don't like doing it those type of ways anymore, because whenever you try to repurpose something in the future, it's harder to repurpose it if you done pulled pins out and broke pins and cut wires and all that. You know, it's easy at the moment. You might save time at the moment cutting wires and splicing them together, but like I say, when you go back to try to use it on something else, then you gotta run around looking for plugs. It's just, you know, if I ain't pressed, I ain't pressed, and I take out the time to do whatever. But anyway, so like I said, wait a minute, stand by. Okay, so we're back. I can't remember where I was, so I'm just gonna pick up, and I think I was talking about the easiest way to determine wire configurations, and that's because we live in the modern era where all we gotta do is look stuff up. So I pull up the pin out and the wiring diagram for the Lingbo controller. Here it is right here, and as you can see, it's got all the pins numbered, and it tells which each and every pin is down to the T. And then I cross-reference that with the Votol controller for its wiring combinations. You can get the same thing. You can get the pin out on each, and you know, look them up, cross-reference them, and match them up as to what they need to be. Now, like I said, all the times you're not afforded those nice luxuries of being able to do that. You know, you could be working out in the field where you don't have computer or internet access, and you got to do it the old school way. And like I said, the old school way is using a multimeter or a test light and testing stuff to see what it is. And actually, you wouldn't use a test light, because a test light is grounded and you can short stuff out. You would actually use a logic probe. A logic probe and a test light, kind of similar, but you won't be able to ground stuff out using a logic probe. But anyway, so yeah. Okay, so where I'm at now was I had thought that they were possibly using a whole bunch of these wires on this plug, even for turn signals, lights, etc. And that's why I didn't want to cut a whole bunch of wires and have a whole bunch of extended wires all over the place. But anyway, when I went ahead and put power to this, and notice when I gave the bike power and gave the step down some juice, most of the lights and everything are working fine, and is just running off the step down. The lighting system has its own, you know, it's separate, so it's not integrated through this. You know, only thing that will be on this is the high low brake and all that for your e-brake and your regen. But as I showed you the chart, we can easily determine and figure out what that is. But as you can see, the lights and everything still work without this plug. Hazard lights, horn, all of that stuff still works. The only thing that probably won't still work is the speed, the miles per hour. You'll need that from the speed sensor wire. The low, medium, and high gears won't work anymore. All that's probably in here. And the throttle. So, you know, we'll pull the throttle wires, the gear wires, the speed sensor wire, and we'll put them on a connector and connect them up, and then we'll come back. All right. Normally I would show all that, but that would be a long video of me soldering and crimping, putting little ends on. I'll come back when it's done. All right. Be back. Alrighty, well, so we are back. Let's see. And we're gonna hook up these throttle wires. First thing we're gonna do is put these little ends on them. This thing up, so we need some more heat. These helping hands really do help out quite a bit. It's always good to have the little helping hands. Last one. I'm sure you can't see what's happening, but I'm gonna move the camera. Show you a close-up of what we've done here. Right. just to get you in close, we put those little terminals on, we soldered them on, and now we're gonna, man, I should have moved this damn camera, but let's angle it up a little bit more. Because they're soldered, crap, ain't got to be super right. Definitely ain't going nowhere once they're soldered. Man, worst thing I hate is some bad connections. When you ride and shit popping in and out because it's loose and not connected properly. Now let's see. Here's one. Okay. So let's stick them in first. So pink. Pink, green, and then black. So it'll be pink, gray, and then black. Always one. Okay, there we go. And we're gonna hook up connect our throttle. Okay. Now let's look up that start wire is what is that? Hold on, let me go see what. Let me look that up real quick. Matter of fact, I can take you over here with me. Let's see. So, let's see. The ignition wire is pin 10 on that, and on the Votol. Shoot. Thought I had all that pulled up already. That's good. Okay. Purple. Do a lot. Cable. Wait a minute. Trying to get a close up. Alright guys, I told you I was hooking up the high brake wire. And a good tip in testing, you know, if say you just want to test that before you make a permanent connection. As you can see, I use these little test leads with the alligator clips on each end. So what I did was, you know, splice the high brake wire right there and clip our little alligator clip on it and connect it to our high brake wire on the controller. Now, the default setting says it has some e-brake initially. So if I give this some throttle and just barely hit the brake, I'm going to barely hit the brake to engage the e-brake. Watch this. Okay, that's e-brake. That is not the mechanical brake. That is e-brake. For one thing, I'm doing that with the front brake. Okay, that's the rear brake over there. Now watch this. I'm gonna use the mechanical brake. That's the mechanical brake. You hear the rotors grab and they start rubbing. But I hit the front brake, and that's all e-brake. All right. So like I said, tested that with that. We'll go ahead and make a permanent connection, and yeah, e-brake. Now I tell you guys all the time, man, you really need to use your e-brake on e-bikes. That saves your pads tremendously. I'm not sure what power level that's set to in the software, but as you can see, it slowed and stopped that wheel almost to a complete stop. The e-brake never stops it to a complete stop. You can set it, it'll be all the way down to like 2 or 3, 4 miles per hour, you know, and and then you have to use your mechanical brake at that point. But once again, imagine how much that saves your brake pads using the e-brake, and you're putting power back into your battery. It's a win. E-lock on this one is great, but I tell you what, let's look at the of course I can't make out none of that. Not clear. Okay. Gray and purple, 16 on this one. Gray and purple. Across from the pink. Okay, let's see if we can find that. Yeah, let's see. Okay, it looks like it's purple and white on there. Yeah, so it looks like that one. And they said 10 on here. One, two, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But I don't, there's no 10 in there unless I got it upside down. Okay, let's go take another look. Let's go take another look. Don't never get old, fellas. You forget shit. By the time you walk over there, you done forgot it. They say 10. Okay. Yeah, that's not what I need anyway. I need B plus out from there. Okay. Anyway, what I can do is let's set this down for a second. Set the camera right there, and let's just see if we can find this with the multimeter. That'd be the best way to find this ignition wire. That's really what I just need.
What up, though?
Okay, bam. Bam, bam, bam. We got it. So, that is our ignition wire. And what kind of connector do we need? Just a regular little single spade. Yeah, I could do that. Let's see. Let's see if we just cut that. And stand by. Let's get piece of heat shrink. Throw that on. On there. Some of that shit up here. Heat shrink already started melting, but anyway, let's just go ahead and plug that up. Get that to working. Okay. All right. Let's see. see if we got any throttle.
What's understood don't need no explanation.
Okay,
you know.
it. Right. Okay, so the next wire we needed was our high brake wire. And our high brake wire gets 12 volts whenever you squeeze either brake handle. So if you squeeze the front or the rear brake handle, the high brake wire gets 12 volts. So I can't do that and hold the camera, but I was able to find the high brake wire. So we're going to go ahead and connect that now, and that will give us, that will engage our e-brake. All right, right now we don't have a variable e-brake, so you know, the e-brake is only going to engage when we squeeze the brakes. And when I set it up in the software, I can set up you know, how much power I want to give that e-brake. All right, so we're going to connect that and we'll be back. All right, so I don't know where we left off at, but anyway, so I hooked up the throttle and the hall sensors and the ignition, which is the key lock, and now I'm going to go ahead and hook up the alarm system, which we can just plug up. It has the same connectors as coming from the other controller, but we're going to have to move it because obviously those won't reach. So I'm going to move the alarm brain over to this section somewhere. We'll strap it in there, plug it up, and get back. But let's see, as you can see, we got throttle. Motor sounds nice and smooth. That's with no tune so far, so just going on the default settings. But yeah, you know, people crying about why they're not hardwired. So anyway, I did a hardwire, but I did it as neat as I possibly could without actually removing that connector. I just tapped into the wires that I needed, which mainly was the throttle wires, and I'm gonna have to tap into the the high brake wire for the regen. So that's the next thing we're going to do, and going to have to tap into the display line wire, which will give us our miles per hour and our speed up there. Also going to have to wire up our gear settings, low, medium, and high. And this controller has some kind of crazy boost setting, which I don't really like, because to get max power you hit boost, and it's only I see that in a lot of sport bikes where you have this high power mode, but it's only for a couple seconds or 20 or 30 seconds. You know, I don't really like that. Man, that's why I love ASI. I don't have to do no boost mode. That thing is, if I want high power all the time, anytime I want it, I can get it. It ain't no for no couple seconds and all that. So anyway, like I said, this thing is temporary, so it is what it is. There's the old controller, that damn Long Ying Lingbo, whatever the hell that damn thing is, man. And check out this little step down, man. That is the smallest little step down I ever seen, but that little thing is doing this damn thing, man, because there's a lot of lights on this bike, and that step down is handling it. But I got a big old 35 amp step down we're gonna put in here, so that can run a ton of shit. But yeah, that's where we at. And yeah, we'll be back in a few. All right, after I move that alarm and do some other things. So anyway, guys, we back, and the install is pretty much finished. I'm pleased at what it's doing. Not too shabby. Still got to go in the software, make some adjustments on the regenerative braking, probably field weakening, and few other things. But I can tell you, before, with no load on it, we were only getting up to about 100 kilometers per hour. So obviously no load on it. It's not going to go this fast when we put a load on it, but it's definitely doing a whole lot better. As you can see, we're getting up to about 157 kilometers per hour. That little motor is screaming, no question. But anyway, we're pretty satisfied with that. Like I told you guys, I thought that was a Votol until I got my magnifying glass on it and seen it was a Lingbo or something like that. So anyway, like I said, I decided to go ahead and hardwire that thing. I just tapped into the wires instead of cutting off the connector. It is what it is. I'm satisfied with what it's doing. That should probably be a whole lot better for now, at least so I can get my battery built and you know, do the major modifications and new motor and all that. So since we get a chance to test ride and see what it's doing, like I said, it wasn't doing too bad before stock, so I'm pretty sure this upgrade should be fairly decent. And like I said, man, this is what stock motor and pretty much a stock battery. I'm not sure how those 72 volt 50 amp hour packs perform, but that one performs pretty well. Even though it's only 100 amp hour discharge, you got to remember that was on a Cyber X, and they actually were attempting to run a BAC 8000 off of that pack. So you know, it's not a bad pack, even though it's rated at what it's rated. So, you know, hopefully we don't blow the BMS or pop trigger the BMS. We're going to see. We definitely going to push it to the limit. I'm going to go ahead and hook up, as you can see, that's the USB dongle. I haven't done any tuning yet. So that's going to be the next thing. We're going to hook it up, and I'm going to tweak it, get the most I can get out of it, and we'll go from there. Deuces.